Hey folks, welcome to Picture This. I'm your host, John Pitcher. Today we are going to put some cladding on my 2024 Crosstrek. This is an Onyx edition, which is the same as the Sport edition in the US. So the Wilderness Crosstrek comes with cladding on the bottom of the doors, but any other model doesn't. You need to buy it as an accessory. And these cladding kits are not as wide and thick as the Wilderness edition, which I kind of like. The Wilderness is a little over the top. I like the cladding, but the Wilderness is quite thick, and it's got the colored letters on there as well. So I'll just show you what these look like. That's the front driver's door. It's going to go there, of course, and I'm just unwrapping the back door right now. So I'll show you what that's like. And the lettering on it is subdued, so it's kind of the same color as the molding. So there you go. So it's not colored like the Wilderness edition. So I'll do my best to do an install video. I'm not really well versed on installing stuff on cars. Well, at least not while I'm doing a video anyway. It's a little bit complicated in regards to making sure the cameras are where they should be and recording your voice and all that, but I'll do my best. I'll go off the instructions. I'll do my best to do that as well. I sometimes skip instructions, but I'll do my best to go by the instructions, and then we'll see what the car looks like after the moldings are installed. One of the reasons I'm doing this video is because when I looked online to see what the Crosstrek was like with these moldings on the car, I couldn't find any pictures at all other than a little tiny picture that was on the Subaru website. So, and there was definitely nothing on YouTube at all about this cladding kit. So hopefully if you're looking at getting a cladding kit for your Crosstrek, this video will be helpful to you. So, all right, without further ado, I'll get started on installing these. All right, so the instruction manual says to clean the car. Obviously I'll wash the car, and you need to remove any wax or grease or oily film or anything like that from where you're going to put the cladding onto the door. They adhere to the door with a two-sided tape that comes already installed on the cladding, and there's a particular procedure for doing that as well. The instructions call for starting at the rear door, so we'll do that. Before I start that though, I did clean the car with some degreaser and then alcohol, wiped it down, dried it, so there's no shouldn't be any wax residue or anything on the car at all, so that way this two-sided tape should stick well. So we'll start with the left rear cladding piece. All right, so we're going to start. It tells you to open the front door. It's got this little gauge here. And we're going to start with the rear cladding. Basically what you're going to do is use that gauge, put it on the door. The diagram in the instructions say 10 millimeters from the bottom of the door. You put this little gauge there. Basically it tells you how far back that molding gets placed onto the door, because if it's too far forward it'll interfere with your door when it opens, of course, and you want it centered, you want it to look the same as the other side and all that stuff. So in regards to the height wise, it just tells you to marry up this crease here with the crease in the door. So once you get all that into place, you're going to do that. Make sure that that's good. Then what it does is have you prepare the two-sided tape. You're going to pull off each section, just a smidge of it, just a little tiny bit, and you'll pull it over the molding like that and hold it onto the outside the molding with some masking tape. So I'll get that prepared. We'll do all that for all of those. You're just basically what you're doing is leaving a small bit of the two-sided tape of each of these pieces exposed, so that way when you get it all lined up on the car, you'll stick it, but it won't be stuck terribly tight, because it's just a little piece on each corner that's going to hold it there. So once you have it gauged properly, you'll put all that on there, and then they ask you or tell you to put masking tape on that. And then what you're going to do is pull, once that's on the door, you'll take the masking tape off of the backing, and then you'll pull the backing away as you're applying it to the door. That's what you're going to do. So I'm going to do that. I'll leave the camera running. So I've prepared the cladding with the tape. As I said earlier, just take a little bit of the backing and fold it over the edge. You want to be able to access all 6 pieces of that. The instructions tells you exactly, they tell you exactly which corner of the backing to fold over, because there's a particular order that you need to remove the backing when you're installing it. I kind of laughed a little bit when it says the actual force you need to push on that to activate the adhesive is 49 Newton meters, or whatever it is. I'm always foot-pounds, but so anyways, I have no idea how much pressure I'm going to put on. I'm just going to make sure it's snug, of course. So we'll start with the gauge. The gauge goes, it was quite difficult to see what they were referring to with this gauge in the instruction manual. But anyway, I finally figured it out. So they tell you it's 10 millimeters, or I think so, something like that, up from the bottom. And then you'll notice that that angle on that gauge fits the angle of this molding. So we're going to go there, make sure that again, that crease is matching up with the crease in the door, like that. So I'm going to do that. And we'll see how that works. For starters, I'm not going to stick it yet. And of course, I'm going to want to make sure that the molding is even. So the molding does extend down past the bottom of the door if you're going with the crease there, so that's normal. Looks good. So I'm going to start removing that. We'll start with the top one. It says to hold it for 10 seconds. This one's a little trickier because it's got a bend in there, so I'm going to take extra care to make sure that this one is sticking before I let go. Probably better if I just squeeze the cladding onto the door. So now what we're going to do is put some tape at the top of the rear molding right here, so that way we can tell where the front molding is going to go height-wise, so it matches up with the height. So I'll prepare the front one. Excuse me. I'll fold over the backing on the adhesive, and I'll prepare that, and then we'll put this one on. So I'm going to stick that right there carefully. I got the spacer on there, and then I'm going to carefully line that up on the other end where the crease is down here. And I'll have a look and make sure it's all lined up. It's good there. Looks good all along the bottom. So I'm going to start removing it. So that's the finished product on the driver's side. very pleased so far. So I just need to finish this side, but that's an idea of what the car looks like without the moldings. So for one, I didn't see the need to put masking tape on it. You'll see in the instructions it tells you to put masking tape on there. I didn't really see a need for that. And another, this little thing here, the gauge, I can't see if it's focused or not. Yeah, it should be. There you go. So when you're putting that on the door, it's not exactly clear. So when you install the rear molding first, this gauge is going on the door like this, and it keeps you the right spacing here, because you don't want it too far forward. It'll interfere with opening the door. So that's just so you know, that's how the gauge works. That was the most complicated thing in the instructions. Otherwise it works quite well. Again, I didn't need the, not that I didn't need it, I didn't use the masking tape. I didn't see a need for that. It worked well besides using the masking tape, because you got a little bit of adhesive there on the little parts that you have exposed, and once you stick it into place, it seems to work quite well. You can kind of adjust it and then start pulling the adhesive backing off, and it worked out quite well. Easier than I thought it was going to be, actually. So there you go, that's the driver's side. I'm going to turn the camera off now and complete the passenger side, and then I'll move the car outside for the final look. So here we have the final install. Give you an idea what it looks like up close. Very pleased, if I haven't said it already. The adhesive was really good, stuck really well. I've worked with some two-sided tape in the past that didn't adhere well, but this stuff was high quality, really well done. So some of the things that you can't see on the internet, I'll try to show you up close. I already showed you the spacer that you need to use and how it's applied. That's one thing that's not really clear in there, but the other thing I want to show you is how the molding extends down past the door. See how that, it's got like an angle on there. So you can see that really looks like a factory molding. It's very well designed. I like the subdued Crosstrek lettering, unlike the Wilderness Edition. Plus, it's not as thick as the Wilderness Edition either. I like it. It certainly gives it a finished look. I think it blends the cladding on the bottom into the door nicely, as opposed to that sharp edge that was there before. So, very pleased with that. So don't forget to leave a comment below, thumbs up if this helped you, subscribe if you like more videos like this. I'm hoping to do a comparison of my 24 Crosstrek with the 21 that I used to own. Some of the things that are better on this one, some of the things that are not so good. So I may get to that, I don't know, I have a lot of videos in the queue, but I thought this one would certainly be helpful because there's no other videos online with the cladding. So until the next video, folks, take care.